The silent satellite, NASA's signal that wasn't from Earth. In the deep stillness of space, silence is normal. But one night in 1983, NASA's Deep Space Network heard something it wasn't supposed to. A faint, rhythmic pulse, so regular, so deliberate, that it couldn't be a natural phenomenon. For months, the agency tried to classify it, dismiss it, or decode it. In the end, the public never learned the full truth. Insiders later called it the silent satellite. The discovery. It began at the Goldstone Observatory in California. NASA engineers were monitoring routine transmissions from Voyager 2, then at the edge of the solar system. Suddenly, a new frequency appeared on their screens, an ultra-low signal, whispering from a direction far from Voyager's trajectory. At first, technicians assumed it was interference, radio noise from Earth, or perhaps a misaligned antenna. But the signal wasn't random static. It carried a pattern, a pulse that repeated every 142 seconds, synchronized with no known cosmic event or human transmission. The engineers tracked it across multiple facilities, Madrid, Canberra, and Goldstone. All three Deep Space Network sites heard the same faint heartbeat from space. It wasn't coming from any known NASA craft, Soviet satellite, or commercial transmission. When triangulated, the source seemed to be in Earth's orbit, but at a trajectory and altitude where no registered satellite existed. The Black Knight connection. In whispers and unofficial memos, scientists began comparing the signal to something older, the Black Knight satellite legend. For decades, rumors had swirled about an ancient, alien spacecraft orbiting Earth, first detected by the U.S. Air Force in the 1960s. Some claim the object was over 13,000 years old, possibly of extraterrestrial origin. Others suggested it was a Cold War spy satellite gone rogue. NASA never acknowledged a link, but internal chatter hinted at similarities. The same region of orbit, the same anomalous frequency range, and an identical pulse pattern that had reportedly been logged once before, in 1960, then forgotten. The silence after the signal. Within weeks, the mysterious frequency stopped. The silent satellite, as it came to be known by a few technicians, went dark. No more pulses, no reappearance, nothing. NASA issued no statement, but a few scientists who worked the night shifts later spoke, off record. One described how the signal changed before disappearing. It was as if something turned to face us, like it was watching. Then the line went flat. Another mentioned how the data logs from that night were sealed under a higher clearance level, above NASA. Some records allegedly bore the stamp of the Department of Defense. Attempts to explain. Officially, NASA classified the event as an unverified anomaly, likely caused by a combination of ionospheric reflection and satellite ghosting, phenomena where radio signals bounce unpredictably between Earth and the upper atmosphere. But independent scientists found this explanation thin. The repeating pattern and precise interval between pulses were unlike any atmospheric reflection ever documented. Astrophysicist Dr. Edward Malone, who reviewed the data years later, commented, "This was not random noise. The waveform had intelligence. It contained order." He noted that when analyzed through a spectrogram, parts of the signal displayed harmonic ratios, mathematical structures similar to musical notes. In other words, the noise had rhythm. Rediscovery in 1998. 15 years later, in 1998, a similar event occurred. NASA's Space Shuttle Endeavour, during its STS-88 mission, captured photographs of a strange, tumbling object in low Earth orbit. The object appeared metallic, asymmetrical, and unfamiliar. NASA later claimed it was a thermal blanket that had drifted away from the shuttle. But amateur radio operators noticed something odd. Around the same week, a faint low-frequency signal was again detected. ***, the same 142-second pulse ***, heard briefly by hobbyists using open satellite bands. The frequency stopped within days, just like before. Coincidence? Or had the silent satellite returned the encoded message? In 2003, a group of amateur researchers calling themselves the Deep Sky Network obtained declassified data from 1983 and 1998. Using modern AI pattern analysis, they attempted to decode the waveform. The results were stunning and unsettling. Hidden within the signal were binary sequences that didn't correspond to any known telemetry or data structure. When translated as audio, the waveform produced tones resembling a rising and falling melody, almost like a language made of sound. When the same binary was run through astrophysical coordinate conversion, the sequence pointed to a specific region of the sky, the Epsilon Boötis system, also known as Azar, a binary star 203 light-years away. Could the signal have been a message? A ping from an observer out there, or from something already here? NASA's response, and silence. When a journalist from Aviation Week inquired about the findings in 2004, NASA's spokesperson responded curtly. No NASA mission detected any unidentified satellite or non-terrestrial signal during that period. Reports suggesting otherwise are based on misinterpreted data. But whistleblowers tell a different story. One retired NASA communications engineer, speaking under anonymity in 2010, stated, "We logged it. We traced it. And we were told to stop asking questions. Whatever it wasn't ours, and it wasn't theirs, the Soviets." Soon after, references to Deep Signal 83 to 142 vanished from public archives. Some suggest it was absorbed into a classified defense file. Modern theories. Today, three main theories try to explain the silent satellite. The alien probe hypothesis. Advocates of this theory believe the signal came from an extraterrestrial monitoring probe, perhaps thousands of years old, observing Earth. Its periodic wake-ups may have coincided with human space activity, like the Voyager launch or the shuttle missions. The secret NASA craft theory. Others argue the signal was from a classified U.S. project, an early prototype of an autonomous surveillance satellite, similar to today's X-37B. Its existence, they say, was buried under the cover of a mystery signal story. The echo theory. A more scientific explanation suggests the signal was a reflection, an echo, of a long-lost broadcast bouncing off debris or plasma clouds in high orbit. But this fails to explain the repeating pattern or its apparent intelligence. The legacy of the silent satellite. In 2021, researchers from MIT's Lincoln Laboratory reanalyzed decades of space telemetry and claimed to find brief electromagnetic anomalies consistent with the 1983 event. The findings reignited debate online, though NASA again declined to comment. To this day, no official record lists a satellite matching the trajectory or signature of this silent satellite. Yet, every few years, radio astronomers still report faint, rhythmic blips, never long enough to prove, never clear enough to decode. Maybe it's a glitch in the data. Maybe it's something watching us, quietly, patiently, from the darkness above. As one NASA engineer once said, staring at the blank screen after the signal died. Space doesn't stay silent. Sometimes, it just waits for you to listen.